Billions of years after the beginning of time, after countless species had emerged and died, cosmic wars had been fought and lost, and galactic empires had risen and fallen. In a remote region of the cosmos, there lived a being by the name of Nobis. Nobis was a descendant of one of the first sentient species to ever emerge in the universe, and one of the first species to ever successfully evolve and make it past the great filters of existence. His ancestors had built technologies and uncovered knowledge needed to harness the energy of their star, spread out beyond their host solar system, and extend individual lifespans well into the hundreds of thousands of years. Nobis was conceived during a time that was marked by a new wave of compounding progress and ingenuity, the likes of which the universe had never seen before. Nobis' father came from a lineage of high-ranking fleet commanders and was now the leader of a newly emerging galactic empire. And so, from birth, Nobis was prophesized to be a ruler of a new form. With the insistent pressure and expectations of his father and family name, with which nothing was ever good enough, and ordained by his circumstances of time and space, Nobis would grow up to become one of the most advanced members of his already hyper-advanced species, inheriting his father's position of immense power and yearn. As leader, Nobis dedicated himself to growth and progress, determined to prove that he was worthy of his role, worthy of his name, worthy of existence, worthy of his father's love. Nobis' goal was not to become leader of his father's nation, nor leader of his species though. Rather, he would not be satisfied until he was the leader of the entire universe. Working relentlessly every day, Nobis left no celestial stone unturned, amassing every possible resource and uncovering every possible insight. He traveled the entire galaxy, then the entire galaxy cluster, and then the entire universe. He met with every important sentient being across the cosmos, overcame those who challenged him, and allied with those who did not. He climbed the ranks of his entire species, and then the ranks of all species. He learned everything there was to know, every law of physics, every rule of reality. He learned how it was all put together, and how it all worked. He transcended and merged with other minds, forming into a single mind that encompassed all thoughts and all timelines. He harnessed the energy of stars, then galaxies, and then the whole universe, integrating with its very fabric like a seamster of reality. Nobis would emerge monarch of the cosmos, deity of celestial bodies, god of time and space. Ensuring that the cosmos continued to run smoothly, however, proved to be quite a lot of work. Ensuring that celestial bodies moved properly, that resources were distributed and allocated equitably, that civilizations both new and old were operating appropriately, staying out of each other's way, satisfied but not too satisfied, and so on, meant that Nobis now spent most of his time behind a desk, inside an office, atop a tower, going through documents, running calculations, dealing with problems, and making decisions. Of course, Nobis could have and did have help from other advanced species and beings whom he had allied with along the way, but since he took his job very seriously and believed that he was the only being in the universe capable of making sure that things were done right, he always checked over everyone's documents and calculations and required his approval for all decisions. Consequently, those who worked for Nobis were only of so much help. Most of those who worked for or knew of Nobis envied him. Although no one ever seriously thought that they could take his job, they desired it. They desired his success and his position in the cosmos. They envied his immense power and influence. They envied his freedom and autonomy. In truth, however, Nobis didn't derive much pleasure from his role at all. He was always busy, and being responsible for everything involved endless tedium and bureaucracy. Of course, he could have relinquished his title and responsibilities, but he was far too prideful. He could not imagine making it this far just to go the other way. What would the rest of the universe think of him? Nobody wants to hear the complaints of a god. Moreover, he feared what would happen. No one else could do what he could. No one else should, he felt. It was what he had dedicated his existence to, what he was good at, what he understood, what he was supposed to do. And so, he did the work because it was his to do. After billions of years into managing the universe, Nobis still had not taken much, if any, time off. He hadn't explored much of the cosmos in a very, very long time, let alone enjoyed much of it. Occasionally, he would take a day or week off every 1,000 years or so, but he would often just find himself feeling guilty and anxious when he did. He typically just ended up working from whatever utopian oasis he was at in whatever other remote part of the universe, just the same. He feared that if he took too much time off, he would lose control, he would lose traction, that things would go wrong in the hands of others. And so, after beating the infinitesimal odds of existing, surviving millions of years of chaos, and acquiring the powers of a god, Nobis spent his time working incessantly, day in and day out, toiling away at a tedious, ceaseless piling of work and bureaucracy, never really even enjoying the very universe he governed. He figured that, at the end of time, when there was no more work to be done and no more things to manage, then he would finally find a moment to take a quick trip around the universe and enjoy the remaining stars and destinations just before they ended forever.